Okay, how's everybody doing today? Of course, my name is Kent. The channel is EOS, San Diego. Of course, I'm in San Diego, California. It is Friday, about 1:30. Actually, it's about 1:53 in the afternoon. And I want to talk a little bit about why EOS is headed in the right direction and why this isn't the EOS that we've had for the last 3 years. And I'm going to show you real quick what's going on right now in the EOS community is Pomelo. Pomelo is a grant system. It's modeled after Gitcoin from Ethereum, but this is a way to give people in the ecosystem, app developers, funding. This is what needs to happen for EOS to grow and be back to where it was before, or be back to where it was when it started, when they were going to give $1 billion to developers and they never did, as I've showed before with Brandon Bloomer on Daybreak with Bloomberg News, where they said they were going to give $1 billion back to developers. They never gave a penny to the developers. We were in it for 3 years. Not only did they not give a penny to the developers, they never set up any kind of structure like Pomelo to give to the developers. And not only that, they didn't have a plan whatsoever. They just basically took the money, bought Bitcoin, and now they're going to use that money to start an exchange called Bullish. That's what happened with Block One. So we really got shafted by Block One and everybody affiliated and associated with Block One. Don't let somebody tell you that just because they were affiliated with Block One, that the Block One was the bad guy and I was the good guy, and I don't have any blame for this because it's all Block One. I don't buy that story. If you were with Block One during that whole process, then you are with Block One. Now, if you want to come back and join the foundation, you need to own what you did while you were with Block One and not pretend like Block One didn't do anything wrong. So, Jessica, how you doing today? So anyway, that's what this is about. This is about getting some. I'll talk about the comments here in a little bit. I already got a comment. Appreciate it, Jessica, but I'll talk about the comments in a little bit because I want to cover Pomelo real quickly. So I'm going to bring the Pomelo screen up. Let me. I can put my glasses on so I can see something. Here we go. I'm going to bring the Pomelo screen up, and let's see if I can bring a browser here. There we go. So let's take a look at the markets real quick. CoinGecko, Bitcoin was actually down a little bit, around 44,000. Now it's back up to 46. Let's see what the EOS is doing. EOS is 53, so it's probably not changed a whole lot. It's up a little bit, actually pretty flat. CHL, let's see what CHL is doing. CHL is down a little bit. Let's see how much we're down a little bit, not much. But anyway, the reason for this video is Pomelo, and I want to cover that, show you the website. This is what we've been dying for the last 3 years. This is a grant from the foundation. Actually, they've set aside $912,000, almost $1 million. And this is to people that are developers on the EOS platform. And you can read about what it is that they are doing and what it is that they're looking for money for. I was looking at a few of these today, and I'm going to notice a couple of them for you. One of them is the Anchor wallet. When EOS first started, we had somebody by the name of Nathan James. I don't know if very many people remember Nathan James or not, but Nathan James was a really good asset for the EOS blockchain. He had developed Scatter, which was a way to interact with the blockchain. But I think Nathan, like the rest of us, needed funding. He wanted somebody to help him fund him. And I think that there was a number of pleas for Nathan James of Scatter to get some help from the Block One and EOS, and they never did. And I don't know if Nathan's still around or not, but if he isn't around anymore, that's the tragedy of what's happened in the last 3 years. We lost people like Nathan James, who had developed something like the Scatter wallet and didn't get anything in return for it. And he was trying to do it, from his own, from his own resources, and he just couldn't hang on long enough. And if he's still around, I hope he is. Nathan, you need to get back in with the foundation now and put yourself in for a grant, because Scatter would have, if it would have taken off, I'm sure, if you would have had some resources to work with. So we lost so many good people because of the last 3 years in EOS. But I'm going to make a mention a couple of people that stuck around here that we need to be supporting. One of them is the Anchor Wallet. Let me see if I can find the Anchor Wallet. Aaron Cox and the Anchor Wallet. We need to support these guys because these guys are building the interface between the blockchain and the people that use the blockchain, and a place for you to store your EOS right here. The Anchor Wallet. They have right now, they've raised about $66,000, actually $318, but through the quadratic formula, they're able to, estimate matching funds of $66,000. And they've got 66 contributors, of which I am one of them. So if you want to contribute to one of these ideas, and believe me, this is the way we get things done, is you recognize people that are actually putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this blockchain, like the Anchor Wallet, and you give them recognition, even if they haven't done anything yet, even if they're just starting out. If they're looking for a little bit of money because they got a good idea, give them some recognition. Because you give them some recognition, that gives them a little bit of energy to keep this thing going and to keep building. And that's how you build a blockchain. That's how you build a community. Is you put back into the community. You give back to the community. You plant into the community. You plant money back into the community, so people feel like they're recognized and that they have a stake in this. And here it is. Here's mine. Of course, we're already estimated to get $1,500 for EOS San Diego. I'd like to take EOS to the next channel, EOS San Diego to the next channel. I'd like to do it on multiple platforms, YouTube. We'd like to, do some more on Twitter, do a lot more on Instagram, do some on TikTok. I mean, there's a number of different platforms we could go on, and I'd like to use money from this quadratic formula to do that. To try to establish a little bit more information, so we can get more information out to the community, so people can hear more information like I'm giving you today. So these are great ideas, and like if you want to support, an idea, just add it to your cart. Right there, it brings up a checkout. You check out, link it up to a wallet, and you can give. It doesn't matter how much you give. You can give one EOS. Give one EOS, and if that's just another contributor, another person recognizing, these ideas and giving these ideas some energy to keep going and to keep happening. So, and then of course we've got the challenge application. We've got some really good ideas on the challenge application. Let me see if I can find challenge here. And I'm going through these pretty quickly, but these are all ideas that they're getting help. Every single one of them looks like they've got some money coming, or going to have some money coming. So this is why EOS is changing. This is why EOS. Here's my good friend Mel Pierce, $7,000, nice, for taking EOS London. So for donating to support the platform in EOS in London, to give EOS more exposure in London. And that's what his aim is. And, he's getting a little help from doing that. I'm looking for the challenge DAC, Generios, and like I say, you can read these and decide which ones you like and just throw a few EOS at him. And you don't have to give a lot of money, but just anything at all gives support. And it allows the community to invest and have the foundation. Here we go. Here's a challenge DAC. We are setting up a way to manage your private keys. When we first started the challenge application, every time somebody set up an account, they got a private key. Well, a lot of people didn't know how to manage their private key. So we found out a way to manage the keys by having it stored on your device, but really in a way that you didn't even know it was there. So it would link up to your device, and you didn't know that you had the private key on your device. But here's a way that we're going to come up with open source the code so that you can manage your private key. So you don't have to worry about what happened to your private key, or even if it's on the blockchain or even if it's on your smart device. You have a way to take care of it. Here's another one. We're coming up with a challenge DAC. We're going to open source some code and a reward pooling smart contract. You can read about it. What we're going to do is we're going to, open up the ability so you can see how we reward people for winning a challenge, how they're going to reward, how do we do it. We're coming, and then the third one I believe is going to be an open source about what was the final one? I think. Let me think for a second. I think it's still being looked at. Let me go back to the ones being looked at. Oh yeah, it was to manage the challenges from a website. So if you want to see how many people are on a challenge application, how many people have completed challenges, what they've done with their challenges, you get a way to kind of see how much activity there is. See if I can find that one. And that way you get some idea what the apps are doing on EOS through this open source code, which shows, there's the rewarding pool. Let me see if the other one's up or not. Where you could see how much activity there is on the challenge app. Let's see if it's here. So we got 3 for the challenge. There's a smart contract one. We got 3 for the challenge. I've got one up for the EOS San Diego. And of course, there's a number of others here that deserve to be funded, like the Anchor Wallet and some of these others. So yes, if you're thinking EOS is dead, if you're thinking that it's going never to be anything, you're probably going to be mistaken because of ideas like this that are coming forward and giving people a notice, something we haven't had in 3 years. And believe me, when the previous 3 years, I tried to contact Block One a number of times, tried to get Dan Lemmer on this channel a number of times, and they just ignored me. And now we're not getting ignored. We're getting recognized. And if anybody's going to build on this channel or build on this platform, they're going to have to get some recognition. They're going to have to get some. The world runs on applause, and if you don't give anybody applause, if you don't acknowledge people and their efforts, then they're not going to stick around very long. And that's what we had before. We had nobody getting acknowledged and nobody stuck around. So that's why EOS ended up being $2.50 when it started off at $4, was up to $21. By the time people figured out what was going on, it dropped all the way down to $2, even below $2. So we got that because nobody wanted to recognize the project. They didn't even want to acknowledge anybody. And they kind of played this game where, oh, we're decentralized, so we're Block One, you're the community. We have to have a wall between us, which is baloney, because you could see EOS, Ethereum, and I'll show you the Ethereum Gitcoin was doing this idea, and they've been doing this for a while. And they're decentralized. And here's the Gitcoin, which you can see this is the way EOS is modeled their Pomelo grants after the Gitcoin. And this is something that the Ethereum community put together. So you can walk through this just like we just did with Pomelo. Here's all their grants being offered. So yeah, this is being done. There was no reason Block One couldn't do this, but they just didn't care to do it. And other people involved with it that want to be now come up with other ideas like Fractally, they didn't do this either. So why didn't they do this the last 3 or 4 years when it could have been done? And then we wouldn't be talking about Fractally right now. We could have already had something in place where you would have some development being taken place or some acknowledgement of developers being taken place. So we had to wait till the foundation got control of the chain, and we had to wait for that to happen before we actually got some platform to fund projects. And right now, this is where it's at. Please check it out. I'll put a link to the Pomelo grant page here below, and check it out, and we'll see what happens. So I'll go to the Jessica, I believe it is. Good morning. I love you. Best regards. Thanks, Jessica. I appreciate it. Happy to see you here. Thanks. Good to see you again. Brandon Whitmer, good to see you back, sir. Yes, I'll be back. I'm going to be making these videos because I see some hope and some ideas that are very, very good, very interesting. So I'm going to sign off for now because I'm going to try to make more